along with Jatin. So just we thought before we begin, because already we are on time and people have logged in. So thank you very much once again, sir. What we will do is like we discussed yesterday. So Purvesh will do the introduction part today. And after that, he'll hand it over to you. And obviously, then you will continue for whatever 20-30 minutes. Once you are done, Purvesh will again come, because there are going to be a few questions also. He'll just pick up 2-3 questions, because in the interest of time, we'll not have a lot of questions, very basic questions. And then once that is done, then Kapil Khera will do the thanking and the thank you note. And after that, we'll close it. So we'll try and restrict this to 35-40 minutes at the max, which we discussed yesterday. I hope that's fine, sir.
Yeah, why not? Yes.
Great, sir. So great, guys. Jatin, maybe you can start the process. So I'll ask Purvesh to take over from here, but you can switch on. And there is a lot of disturbance at the back end, guys. So everyone needs to be on mute. And Jatin, please make sure that everyone else is, as a host, you and Purvesh, you guys need to manage this. So over to you, Purvesh, and all the best, guys.
Thank you, sir. We are also live on YouTube now. Thank you.
Excellent.
Good morning, Vijay, sir.
Good morning. How are you, Samir ji?
Good, sir. All good. We have the participants coming in now. So I'll just take a moment and I will start the introduction from here onwards, sir.
Yeah.
So namaste, friends, and Jai Hind to Shri Vijay Sakhare, sir. Especially Jai Hind, because it's always a pleasure to greet a uniformed personnel with Jai Hind. So we have the pleasure of having much coveted Shri Vijay Sakhare sir with us today. I'll take a couple of minutes to introduce. He's a part of Leaders Inspire series today. He will be talking to us about how to contain COVID-19 and live with COVID. So that's what we will be discussing today. We will understand his perspective of containing COVID-19. The introduction is really interesting, and I would request everyone to have a keen observation when I introduce sir, because it's really unique in a lot of matters, and there are a lot of firsts in this introduction. So Shri Vijay Sakhare sir started his career as an assistant superintendent of police in Kasaragod, Kerala in 1998, and served as commissioner of police and superintendent of police in several districts of Kerala. He has single distinction of working with two different state police forces, Uttarakhand and Kerala, and as a senior superintendent of police. As a DIG of police, he has worked with Border Security Force, protecting the western borders of our country. He has led prestigious GACS in intelligence and credited with enhancing security cooperation with eastern neighbors, especially Bangladesh. He is also assisted Union Minister in discharging his official duties as his private secretary. He is also credited with setting up Vigilance Directorate and Central Armed Police Forces. In Kerala, he has held charge of prestigious Central Range of Kerala Police and has singular distinction of being the first IGP and Commissioner of Police of Cochin. So Vijay Sakhare sir is an IPS officer of 1996 batch, a postgraduate from Design Engineering from IIT Delhi. He has held several important assignments in Kerala, Uttarakhand, and Government of India. Despite holding sensitive information portfolios, he has always pursued excelled in various areas of professional responsibilities. As a part of the pursuit, he has acquired post-graduation in radicalization, counter-radicalization from King's College. Now, if we understand the current scenario, we really know how important radicalization and de-radicalization is these days. And he is one of the very few people who is actually an expert in that. Post-graduation also from in information security and MBA in finance. That's a very varied profile that we can see. Several firsts that sir has been doing, and I would probably count a few of them: creating and establishing communication backbone for fast and secure information exchange among various offices of Kerala in 2000. This was the first of its kind. Establishing first IT-based control room and remote anti-burglar alarm system in Kerala. This is kind of really futuristic technology. established first wireless-based vehicle tracking system (VTS), that is what we call. Uh, Created network for connecting all police stations, established unique petition inquiry, created lifeline for traffic safety, established geographical information system (GIS) in border security force for effective operations and planning, execution, and review. Established first internet and social media monitoring system. Social media monitoring is kind of really becoming a in thing now, but sir has been working on that for quite long. Operative intelligence. Sir is a recipient of special award for outstanding contribution to policing from the Prime Minister's Office of Malaysia. Recipient of Chief Minister Kerala's commendation for use of IT and modern technology in policing. Recipient of several commendation and recognitions for special contribution to professional policing by Minister of Kerala, and recipient of numerous awards and commendation from Government of India for singular contribution to Indian selection, fostering greater cooperation between India, Bangladesh. The list goes on. Sir, if I can have the, I really have the privilege of introducing you. The list goes on. I would hand it over to you from here onwards, sir. Post your session, we will take some questions from the participants. We would really like to know your perspectives on various things, especially related to COVID and your life. I hand it over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. I hope my audio is clear, because when you were speaking, there was a lot of noise. I hope I am clearly audible.
Oh, absolutely, sir. It was only the fear of talking to a senior officer like you. Even I felt in between Purvesh voice was like fumbling. So I was wondering that why he's worried and scared. So Purvesh, it's not for people like you. Okay. So anyway, I know that's an IT issue, but we can hear you loud and clear. So there was probably some signal issue at Purvesh side. So over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ramesh, for such a generous introduction. Friends, today, as I was told, that we are going to discuss about the COVID. And when we talk about COVID, I would like to share my experience regarding fighting COVID. And as all of us know, entire world is engulfed by the COVID, and nobody has been able to find a solution to somehow contain or stop COVID. So we in Kerala have been able to find a way, a strategy, using which it is possible to defeat, contain, control the COVID. And I will basically discuss about this particular strategy and how it is possible to contain COVID. This is what I am going to talk about you. So, because my time is half an hour, I'll try to be as quick as possible. First, going through the introductions, in Kerala, Kasaragod is a district, northernmost district. It's a backward district of Kerala. And it became one of the biggest hotspots of India as early as mid-March. And the first lockdown in entire India was imposed in Kasaragod only on 20th of March. Because number of cases were increasing, so government of Kerala decided that to stop spread of infection to the community, it is important for us to bring in lockdown. The district administration and local police authorities were not able to impose lockdown, and number of cases were increasing alarmingly. So on 23rd evening, we had a sudden spurt of cases, 23rd of March. And then Honorable CM sir called me and said, Vijay, number of cases are increasing very, very rapidly. And I'm afraid that we are going into community spread. So why don't you go there and ensure that the infection does not spread to the community? So that is the background. So, and interesting thing, it's a COVID related issue, which is basically a health pandemic, but Chief Minister of Kerala decided to send a police officer. I am not the IG of that particular place, but I was airlifted and sent there. So I went there on 24th, and whatever we did afterwards for next 3 weeks, basically now come to know as triple lock strategy for containment of COVID. So when cases were increasing, we devised this particular strategy, and this strategy led to bringing the number of cases in Kasaragod to zero within the span of 5 weeks. And later on, this particular strategy is being implemented everywhere throughout the Kerala. And as you know, number of cases in Kerala are only 2,500. Though Kerala as a state is very densely populated, the number of NRIs who go from Kerala is very, very high. All of them have returned back. And in last 1 month, we have seen return of around 260,000 people. Despite that, our total number of positive cases is close to 2,500, and 10% are out of contact. So, and I am confident, we are confident, our CM is confident that we will be able to keep the number of cases low, and it will be possible for us not to allow transmission of COVID to community level. And this is what we are doing for last 3 months, and we will continue to do so. So how we have achieved this is what I am going to talk to you about. So it was all possible because of this triple lock strategy. See, what happens is, as all of us have realized now, that COVID does not have any treatment. So if you become positive, then only your immunity can pull you through. And doctors will help you in managing your body so that you can survive for 14 days, and afterwards the effect of virus would start diminishing, and you will become normal again. So it's basically management by the doctors. So if that is the case, what is the other way out? How can we protect rest of the society from becoming infected? So the other alternative is the containment of spread of the virus. So if we somehow contain the spread, the new patients, the number of new cases, new patients becoming positive, that will reduce, and that will ensure that people are protected, and it will put less pressure on the health system. For example, if more number of people become positive and they become serious, critical, then we'll require more number of ventilators, oxygen cylinders, beds, hospital, which is very difficult for us to organize given such a huge population. And then the pandemic will become unmanageable, which we are seeing some kind of situation in other parts in India. So the only way forward now, till vaccine or some effective medicine is developed, is to come up with containment. Somehow we have to stop spread of infection from one person to other person. This is all triple lock strategy is. So, and this is being implemented throughout Kerala now. And that is one of the reasons why number of cases in Kerala are so low. And other states are also trying to implement it with some degree of variation depending upon their resources and depending upon their systems in various degrees, with various measures. So what is triple lock strategy? That is what I am going to tell you today, and as part of narrative only I will tell, so that once I am through, then you can ask questions. So coming back to the call made by Honorable Chief Minister, 23rd evening I was given call. In the night itself I started. It takes around 9 hours from here to reach Kasaragod. So I went there. In the morning we reached on 24th of morning. So after reaching, I was appointed as Special Officer COVID-19 for Kasaragod. So once I reached there, I conducted meetings with the district administration, with the police administration, went around in the district, visited areas, met people and all that. And by afternoon, I had fairly good idea of the problem which was there in Kasaragod. Afterwards, I held meetings with the police officials and discussed our strategy. And before going further as to what we are going to do in the field, first we discussed how we are going to protect ourselves before protecting others. Because as a police force, we are not trained to fight a pandemic. But as the situation arises, we need to adapt and improvise. Why Honorable CM sir was sentenced? Because the why police can contain, that was a question. This is what was asked to me by the police officers. See, the virus or infection spreads basically largely from one person to another person. So if we restrict the movement of a person, then it would be possible for us to restrict the transmission of infection. And police department has the expertise in restricting the movement of people, whether it is crowd control or VVIP security, apprehension of the criminals, or keeping them confined at certain place. So we have a, a huge expertise in this area. So that is why Honorable CM sir has sent me there. So on 24th evening, we decided we will use all protective gear, at least masks, gloves, sanitizers, while interacting with people, while dealing with people, so that we are safe and we do not catch infection. If we catch, then entire police force has to be quarantined. And then I discussed the strategy with them. And the strategy, as I said, was named as triple lock strategy. So as the name suggests, it has three locks. So on 25th of morning of 25th, we started implementing this particular strategy. Lock one, I will describe. So lock one is a basically general strategy. When we saw in Kasaragod, there was absolutely no lockdown. People were moving around and doing their things in a normal manner, and they had no effect of or no fear of COVID as such. So on 25th morning, we cut off the entire district of Kasaragod from adjoining state of Karnataka and adjoining district of Kannur. Then all the villages were cut off from each other. After that, towns were also divided into several small sectors by erecting roadblocks and barricades, so that a person is confined to his village or to his town in a particular sector. Then the roadblock is a very important strategy. When 11 o'clock to 5 o'clock was the exemption time in Kasaragod town. So at 11 o'clock, we suddenly saw a line of 7,000, 8,000 vehicles waiting to enter the town. So we enforced a very strict lockdown by saying that only those people who have to deliver essential services or who have to buy essential commodities can only come in. Rest of the people were asked to go back. Many people disobeyed, they were arrested, their vehicles were seized. Second thing we did was, in the motorcycle, no double riding was allowed. Number three, in car, 1+1 only was allowed. Then suddenly a lot of people used to come. So we told them, please don't come time and again, buy your things once for at least 5 to 7 days so that you don't have to come back again. Then long queues used to be seen in the morning. So we gave them a time-stamped voucher so that at a time only close to 100 persons are allowed in the market. So by doing this, within a couple of days' time, the traffic or the crowd at the town, it came down to 5% of what it was on 25th morning. So huge restrictions were brought in. In addition to that, motorcycle patrols were used very effectively for detecting those persons who were moving around aimlessly, loitering just like that. They were caught, they were arrested, their vehicles were seized, cases were taken. So because of that, the lockdown was enforced very, very effectively. In 2 days' time, we ensured that the crowds, they reduced to a great extent. Then at the same time, we enforce social distancing as well. In shops, in marketplaces, we ensured that people do not mingle and only the earmarked authorized shops operate. That is what was lock one. At the same time, I'll come to the lock two. Second thing, what we did was, the Kasaragod has close to 20,000 foreigners who came back from the other countries. We know that infection has come, the first wave, infection has come from the outside the foreign countries. So we had the names and addresses of 20,000 people who have returned back from the Gulf countries. We also had the addresses of positive persons, and what we did was we created 80 teams led by sub-inspectors. They used to visit all these uh, persons who have returned from foreign countries, and their job was to tell them, please don't come out. And because you have come from foreign country, there is a possibility that you would be transmitting infections to others. So we had made some WHO and BBC videos and did the voiceover in Malayalam, and they were shared with them. Their house locations were taken and sent to the COVID control room, and we told them, please don't come out, you stay home, everybody would be safe, you will be safe. If you need any help, please tell us. And their locations of their homes were mapped on a Google map. So this is how we created a GIS. So we knew where all these people are staying. Then we took the people who became positive and we mapped their primary and secondary contact. I will talk about primary and secondary contact later on in the later part of this talk. So we mapped them. So once we mapped all the people who have become positive and their primary and secondary contact, a very interesting picture emerged. What we saw was the positive persons are not spread all over the district, but they are located or concentrated in certain geographical areas. So we made these geographical areas as containment zones by isolating them from rest of the district. Because the theory says if somebody becomes positive, then the possibility of people residing within a particular perimeter, a particular radius in that area have highest possibility of becoming positive. So once we isolated these areas from rest of the district, the possibility of infection traveling to rest of the district became very, very less. So all the roads coming out of these particular containment zones were blocked. They were manned by policemen. We deployed drones for ensuring that nobody comes out in these areas. Motorcycle patrols put in. People who were trying to violate the curfew in containment zone, the action was taken against them. So because of that, the people who had greatest potential of transmitting infection to others, they were confined to particular areas, 11 such areas. That was lock 2. We implemented it on 28th of March. Then we came up with a third strategy, that is 30th of March. What we saw was the people who have become positive and their primary and secondary contacts were traced by us by contact tracing. So what we decided was the people who can transmit infection to others, the people who can become positive are these primary and secondary contacts. So if we keep them confined to their homes at any cost, then the spread of infection to other people would be very, very less. So what we did, we already had the geographical locations of these people. We created a 6-pronged strategy, which is now known as Lock 3, for keeping these people confined to their homes, that is primary and secondary contact. First was, there were certain super spreaders. For example, there was one person uh, because of whom 21 persons become positive, and he had close to 121 primary and secondary contacts. So what we did in front of such primary and secondary contact of super spreaders, we posted a 24/7 police guard so that nobody comes out of that house. That was first thing we did. Second thing what we did was, because there were 20,000 such people and I had only close to 950 policemen with us, it was not possible for me to post a policeman in front of everybody's house. So we created motorcycle beat patrols, wherein a particular motorcycle man was given a beat of 15 to 20 houses. And his job was to visit these people every day at least twice. And what he used to do, he used to visit a particular house. He will ask all the inmates to come out either in the porch or on the balcony, and he used to take physical count, attendance of those people to ensure that the quarantine people stay at home. And he used to do it at least twice a day. Third thing we did was we brought, the way motorcycle beats were there, we created drone beats also. So the particular area, we flew drones on top of the houses where quarantine people were living. So what happened was we told the quarantine people, see, even if motorcycle beat is not there, the drone is flying on top of your home. So in case you violate current quarantine, we will shift you from here to institutional quarantine, and criminal cases will be taken against you and your family. And that was the third intervention. Fourth we did was, Kerala is a highly urbanized place. A lot of CCTV cameras are available in the public spaces and private places. So around house of every single quarantine person, we made a list of CCTV cameras, and every day an officer used to check these cameras according to the beat. And if somebody was found violating the quarantine, he was again taken to institutional quarantine and cases were taken. That was fourth intervention. Fifth, we took help of the neighbors. We asked them, if you notice that a quarantine person is coming out, please inform us, because he is threat to the society. He has the greatest potential of transmitting infection to others. So please inform us. And sixth and last intervention on triple lock, third lock, was we had developed an app on 25th of March itself. When I was Commissioner of Police here, I was developing an app to keeping track of quarantine person. So on 30th, we deploy an app by name COVID Safety App. So this app has two features. So first, if we, all the quarantine people, we ask them to install this app in their mobile phones. And once the app is installed, there is the SOS button there. If a quarantine person requires any help, he has to simply press that button, so that we'll come to know that a quarantine person requires help, and they require a lot of help. Second thing was, we told this quarantine person, if you move beyond 50 meters, we will get to know that you have violated home quarantine. So then we will shift you to the institutional quarantine, and we will take criminal cases against you, and in against your family also. So within first 2 weeks, we registered close to 1,600 cases. More than 300 persons were shifted to the institutional quarantine. And this information was widely publicized in the local media, print, electronic media, and social media. So everybody came to know that we are very serious, and people, if they violate, we will take action against them. So with the combination of these three locks, within 14 days, we saw a number of cases reducing. I'll come to that in the end. The another collateral issue with forcing lockdown on people and forcing them to stay at home was, they have a lot of special needs. For example, during COVID time, many people suffer with non-COVID medical problems. For example, people have heart attacks, pregnant ladies have issues, then people have kidney and other kind of problems. They require medical help. And many a times a person who is undergoing quarantine has a lot of apprehensions, and he will feel that I need to go to hospital, I may have caught COVID, I need medical assistance. If such people go to hospital, then the spread of infection would be more. So what we did, we came out with a platform by name Swaraksha Kasargod. It is basically a telemedicine platform. I had close to 100 doctors from big hospitals all across Kerala on our panel, and we have given them mobile phones. And whenever a quarantine person needed medical consultation, what he had to do was he had to simply send a text, audio, or video message to our control room. And our control room used to connect this particular person with the doctor. So the consultation was, doctors were brought to their homes, because in COVID times, as you know, getting doctors is extremely difficult, and they are the most precious commodities. So by doing this, we have been able to bring doctors to the homes of the people. They used to write prescriptions and give medicines, and we used to supply them. So, and this Swaraksha Kasargod platform was used in 5 weeks time by more than 25,000 people. So by doing this, the medical needs of the people were met. Another thing which we did was, when you force people to undergo lockdown, they have a lot of essential requirements. They require medicines, they require food items, and you are not allowing them to go out. And exemption was also strict, was limited to certain areas. So what we did was, we told people, please don't come out. We created another platform by name Amritam Kasargod. Means what? If a person requires medicine or if he requires essential item, he has to simply send a message to us, and we have got in touch with the departmental stores, the shopkeepers, and the grocery association guys. We used to forward these messages to them. They used to make packages, and we used to deliver this package to the homes of the people within 3 hours. So police station vehicles and police used to deliver goods and medicines to the people. So because of that, there was no need for people to come out. And by doing this, we told the people, please don't come out. Whether you require doctor, whether you require essential goods or medicine, there is no need for you to come out. We are there for you. We will bring all your requirements to your place. Then we roped in big cinema stars to to propagate this message of the services provided by the police. So Mohanlal and other people, they made social media messages, small films, and they were circulated. In social media, in print media, in electronic media, we popularized this. And the message which we gave to people was, we understand you are undergoing a lot of difficulties because you have been locked down, but the police is not against you. We are with you. Our fight is against COVID. So you need to cooperate. If you stay home, we can defeat COVID. And that message went loud and clear. So because of this, they stayed home. And as we know, if a person catches COVID, gets infected, he can only be shifted to hospital. Those people were shifted to hospital. Others, they were confined to homes, and 80% of the people do not show any symptoms and they get cured themselves. Such people, after 14 days, got cured automatically by their own immunity. And what we saw was, after when we reached there, the number of cases on 25th of March were 45. During first week, the number of cases climbed to 109. By the end of second week, the number of cases climbed to 156. And as we know, the effective period of virus is around 14 days. And we started implementing our strategy on 25th of March. And we expected results to start coming from 8th of April onwards, after 14 days. And from 8th to 14th of April, the third week of implementation of strategy, the number of new cases dropped to 11. That is, within 3 weeks, we were able to bring down the new reporting of cases by 76%. Next week, number of cases from 11, they became 5, then 4. And within 5 weeks' time, we brought these cases down to 0, and Kasargod was made COVID-free. So this is how we implemented the strategy. One more important point I would like to highlight before I basically go to the new challenges was that contact tracing. Contact tracing is a very, very important activity. Whenever we are fighting COVID, there are 3 basic components of fight against COVID. One is contact tracing, that is identifying those people who could have been infected by a positive person, and these primary and secondary contact in turn can infect others. So who can spread infection to others? That is what we call as contact tracing. That is the first step. Second step is containment. Once you trace the primary and secondary contact, you have to ensure that they remain confined in the homes all the time, so that they are not able to spread infection to the community. That is second thing. Third is obviously testing. Once you do testing, you will get to know who are the people who are positive, who are the people who are negative, and the people who are positive have to be shifted to hospital and have to be treated. once these three things are done together, it is possible for us to contain COVID as well as treat people. So police was doing two things: contact tracing as well as containment. So 2/3 of the job was being done by the police in entire fight against the COVID. In contact tracing, what we did was, normally in rest of India, contact tracing is done by the health workers. They have done a wonderful job. In Kerala also, they have done a wonderful job. But it's a very tedious process. It requires a lot of expertise. And police, as we know, has the greatest experience and expertise in carrying out investigations. So in Kasargod, I had constituted 30 teams headed by either an inspector level officer or a sub-inspector level officer. Their job was, whenever a person becomes positive, to trace their contacts. And we used to trace this contact by talking to the positive person over phone, talking to his friends, his relatives, and basically verbal questioning or debriefing, as we call it. Then we use a lot of technology for tracing the contact. Like we used to take CDR, we used to take IPDRs, we used to take the CCTV feed to trace the route or places which he has visited and whom he has come in contact. So by doing so, the list which used to be given to us by the health inspector, the health department, we have increased the number of persons in that list by 50 to 60%. So those people, otherwise, had we not traced the contact, all these 50 to 60% people would have gone unnoticed and they would have transmitted infection to others. So by doing this contact tracing and then keeping them at home, we were able to contain the spread of virus. So coming to this is what the triple lock strategy is. Coming to the results delivered by the strategy. The result delivered by the strategy were phenomenal, because during the period when I was there as Special Officer COVID, no other intervention, medical or otherwise, was brought in. The only intervention which was brought in was this triple lock strategy. And because of this, within 3 weeks, we could reduce the reporting of new cases by 76%. And within 5 weeks, it came to 97%. And within 6 weeks' time, we made the district Same thing happened in the adjoining district of Kannur, which happens to be the constituency of Honorable Chief Minister also. The number of cases there were also increasing rapidly. So when we compared Kasargod with adjoining district of Kannur, where no triple lock strategy was implemented, number of cases were kept on increasing, whereas in Kasargod, they decreased at a rapid rate. So after 4 weeks' time, Honorable CM sir called me and said, Ki Kasargod is absolutely under control. Why don't you go to Kannur and do something about it? I am scared about beginning of community spread in Kannur district as well. I went there. We implemented same strategy there. In next 4 weeks' time, the cases which were climbing at a high rate at around 50 to 60 cases per week, from a high of 137, we brought it down to 7 in the span of 4 weeks. So the strategy was implemented in Kannur also, and it has delivered the desired result. Later on, we had problems in the district of Kottayam as well as Idiki. This number of cases were rapidly shooting up. So same strategy was implemented there, and cases were brought down. They also became COVID-free. And now, as we know, this strategy is being used by other states also. Now, what happened was, after we made Kasargod zero, on 4th of May, Government of India decided that we will start evacuation flights for our brothers who are stranded abroad. And flights started coming. Then ships also started coming. The domestic travel started, trains started coming to the state. And as we know, many people were returning from countries who were absolutely infected, where the infection was widespread. Then places like Mumbai or Chennai or Delhi, where infection was more, people were returning from there. So it was expected that the new cases would be reported, and because number of persons who are coming now would be much more than what we had before the lockdown. The possibility of infection, spread of infection was very, very, very high. This is what we call as second wave. When the first time cases started increasing, we imposed lockdown. We cut off India from rest of the countries. We cut off states from each other. We cut off districts from each other. And that is how we contained and brought number of cases to zero. But once we opened up again, the people who are infected or who had potential to infect others, they started coming. For example, from 4th of May onwards till date, we have received close to 250,000 people. They came by road, they came through ship, they came by train, they came by airline. So when these people came, obviously number of positive cases were expected to go up. So what we did, CM sir asked me, how do we take care of this? I said, sir, there is nothing to worry about. The bottom line in fight against COVID is containment. And whoever is coming into Kerala, we will ensure that they are received at the state border or at the airport or at the ship port, and they are brought to their homes directly. And in the home, we will ensure that they are kept confined. So if these people come and stay at home and we can enforce that, then the infection will not come out. And this is exactly what we have done in Kasaragod as well as in rest of the state. On 10th of May, the Kasaragod became COVID-free, zero. But on 11th, we had 4 new cases. And now number of cases in Kasaragod have crossed 210. But interesting thing is, all these cases belong to those people who have come from outside. 90% of the cases in the state are those people who have come from outside the state, either foreign countries or from other states. Only 10% of the people approximately have got infection by contact from those people who have come from outside. And who are these 10% people? They are basically the family members of the people who have come from outside. And what we have done is, whenever a person landed in airport or seaport or at the state border, we escorted them right from the state border or from airport to their homes. And once they are in home, the lock 3, the policemen and those 6 initiatives were brought in, and they were kept confined to their homes. So what happened because of that, the infection did not travel out. It remained confined to home. And that is what we are seeing now. Though from 5th of May, second wave started on 4th of May, till date, it is almost more than 6 weeks. And more than 250,000 people have come to Kerala. We only have 2,500 positive cases. And 90% of them are those who have come from outside. 10% are family members. So there is no community spread. And it has happened only because of ensuring that these quarantine people remain quarantined all the time at home. And this is being implemented now all over Kerala. It is being implemented now in Tamil Nadu. Many people contacted me, people from Mumbai, Pune, Delhi, Odisha, Northeast, Jammu and Kashmir, and we shared all the information with them. So they are also trying to implement similar strategy in some degree of measure or other. But the basic point which I was trying to make today was, it is possible for us to stop virus. It is possible for us to contain virus. Only thing is, we will have to ensure that those people who have the highest potential of transmitting infection to others are kept confined to home. And it is possible not only by us, by police force and other agencies, but also all of us will have to participate in this particular fight, because there is no treatment, there is no medicine. So only alternative is containment. And we have demonstrated all over Kerala in various places that it is possible to contain virus by aggressive implementation of triple lock strategy. This is what I wanted to say. I am ready to take the questions.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for the informative session. Actually, this strategy in Kerala, that especially Kasaragod, that has been implemented, is being actually talked about nationwide. A lot of national media has covered the way that Kerala has tackled this issue of containing COVID. So hats off to you, sir. There are a few questions that members have asked, and I'll ask a couple of them right away, sir. A member from Delhi has asked, what was the most difficult part of implementing the COVID plan?
The most difficult part of implementing COVID plan was basically keeping people inside their homes. For example, I will give an example. The local MLA became primary contact of one of the positive persons. And his brother also became positive. MLA had no choice, he stayed home, but his brother used to roam around. We booked him, we arrested him, we put him in isolation ward, and and it was done by using our COVID safety app. He created a lot of trouble for us, but we stood our ground. CM sir also called me. They said, no, we must have mistaken. I said, no, sir, we have no mistakes. I have the technical data. He said, but he's MLA's brother. I said, he may be MLA's brother, sir, but this particular, the COVID does not differentiate between VVIP or non-VVIP. So unless I am very, very strict, we will not be able to do it. So basically, the biggest difficult part was keeping people inside and telling them that we are not against you, we are against the COVID. So communicating that message took us around 7 to 10 days and making them understand that COVID is our enemy, people is not our enemy, and please cooperate with us. Basically, gaining their support, gaining their cooperation was the biggest challenge. And within a week's time, we were able to gain that particular, their cooperation. And after that, fight was easy.
Understood. Communication is the key, sir. I mean, this was effective communication because of which, people understood finally that they have to stay inside. Very important point, sir. One of the members from Kolkata is asking about, the police force was exposed to this virus kind of, really badly. What were the precautions that were taken against protecting the police force themselves from this virus?
That is a very, very important question, Parvesh. As I told in my narrative, we started implementing our strategy on 25th, but on 24th itself, I distributed them the protection. I told them in this particular fight, if we become infected, then there will be nobody to enforce the lockdown or nobody would be there to ensure containment. So first, let us protect ourselves. So what we did, first, I gave everybody masks, I gave everybody gloves, I gave everybody sanitizers. I enforced that nobody will work in the field without this, number one. Number two, we know that safe distance is 6 feet or 2 meters. So how to carry out our responsibilities of, let us say, vehicle checking, or enforcing social distancing, or visiting quarantine home persons without coming in contact with them. So I myself went and demonstrated them how to check vehicle by staying 2 meters away, by wearing all these gear, how to make an arrest, how to take a vehicle to the police station. And when we visit a quarantine home, how should we keep a distance with from the inmates, from the house, and we should be able to communicate with them. So I personally demonstrated them, and all these persons did same thing. So we were very careful while implementing our strategy, number one. Number two, if you see, what is containment zone? Containment zone is the area where the people who have greatest potential of transmitting infection live. So once we cut off this area from rest of the district, and those people who were working in rest of the district, they had minimal possibility of catching infection. So they were anyhow taking precautions, and infection was confined to containment zone, so there was no problem. In containment zone, we ourselves were operating, and we were extremely careful while operating in that area, because we could have come in contact with people who could have given us the infection. We were visiting containment zone and the homes of those people who were quarantined, and some of the people who later on became positive also. I myself have visited close to around 500 guys all over the district in different containment zones. but we always followed great precautions. And this is what we told them. See, our motto was to protect and be protected. To protect means we are protecting others. And this is what we told the quarantine person was, you help us in protecting others. If you stay home, you are protecting others. And be protected means you stay at home, we are there. If you need medical help or anything else, we are there to help you. We are there to protect you. And the only way out is by taking precautions and by maintaining social distancing. So we scrupulously did that, and not a single person in Kasaragod district or in Kannur district ever became positive. We have total 5 cases in entire Kerala of people becoming positive. This has happened because by mistake, somebody, asymptomatic patient, he came to the police station and interacted with a couple of Jawans. So they became positive. Yesterday in Kochi city itself, now I am here back to Kochi city as commissioner. So I have got one person becoming positive. And how it became? Some people were fighting in institutional quarantines. He went and he separated them and forced them to go out. So after 14 days, he became positive. So this is a basically one-off incident. But all over Kerala, no, Kasaragod was definitely a hotspot and virus was omnipresent there. We took all the precautions. We used safety gear and we maintained social distancing very consciously. That is why we were not able, that is why policemen could not catch infection. So unless we are alive to the situation, unless we constantly remind us that I may catch infection from unknown source, we will not be able to protect ourselves. So that is became part of our standard operating procedure to protect ourselves by using precaution. That's why policemen did not become infected in Kasaragod. And in entire Kerala, as I told you, we only have 5 cases. Whereas, as we know, number of people who have come from outside, the NRIs, are very high in number from Gulf countries where infection is widespread. And many of them have become 2,000. Our positive cases in Kerala has reached 2,500. But the people who have become positive by local contact is only 10%, close to 200, and only 5 policemen. So by observing social distancing and by consciously taking precaution, we have been able to ensure that policemen do not get infected.
Sir, this is a really remarkable feat, sir, achievement in terms of numbers, especially because containing the numbers for the policemen themselves is really difficult because they are exposed so much with your training, and I understand the practicing of social distancing and a lot of things. We were able to achieve that, and I think this is the model that we everyone else can follow to reduce the number of exposures and cases. I have a couple of more quick questions, sir. Very quick. One of the members from Mumbai was asking your opinion about should we really start the local trains and considering the density of population here, and what is your opinion on that?
See, this question was asked to me by several people. Everybody was saying that Kasaragod is a backward district and Kerala basically cannot be compared with the Mumbai. I'll tell you an example. And see, I totally believe and I'm confident that we can implement triple lock strategy equally effectively in Mumbai also. And it is possible for us to stop the spread of infection. Why? Because what is triple lock strategy? It is combination of professional policing techniques, lot of technology and community policing. And all these 3 things do not vary with the time or with the place or with the people. They remain same. So it is possible. One, I'll give an example. When Dharavi became infected and number of cases were increasing, and I'll tell you, I don't remember the date. On, before coming to that, see, on 4th of April, the number of positive cases in Kasaragod and Mumbai were same. We implemented triple lock strategy and the results in Kerala. And you know what has happened in Mumbai now. So the only difference between 2 places was this triple lock strategy. 1. Number 2, density. When number of cases in Dharavi became 30 positive cases, a very senior official called me. He said, I have heard a lot about your achievements in Kasaragod and rest of Kerala. How can we implement it in Dharavi? in 5 square kilometer area, we have 1 million people. It is not possible. I said, sir, kindly pardon me for my advice you are seeking. My opinion is Dharavi has 10 lakh population. It is fine. There are 30 positive persons at that point of time. My experience of Kasaragod tells me every positive person has around 10 to 12 primary contacts who can become positive later on. If we talk about Dharavi, let us say every positive person has 50 contacts, or you take 100 contacts. Even if you take 100 contacts, for 30 positive persons, there would be 3,000 primary contacts who can become positive. Let us say 5,000. So when number of positive cases in Dharavi are 30, there are 5,000 other people maximum who can become positive and who can infect others. So what you need to do is immediately identify those 5,000 people by doing contact tracing, the way we have done by using professional policing method. And instead of locking down entire Dharavi, you move these 5,000 people out of Dharavi to an institutional quarantine. So once these people are out, the entire Dharavi would be safe. So you don't have to bother about 5 lakh people. I said, for example, in Kasaragod, the population of Kasaragod district is 13 lakh. Kannur district is 40 lakh, and they are highly urbanized places. You know, the density of population in Kerala is highest, and number of people who stay abroad and who have come back is also highest. So density wise, yes, Dharavi is much more, Mumbai is much more, but in Kasargod, I did not confine all 13 lakh people, or in Kannur, I did not confine 40 lakh people. In Kasargod, I focus only on 25,000 people. And I enforce confinement on them. So once these 25,000 people stayed home, the rest of the people did never get any infection. So similarly in Mumbai, why don't you identify those people who have potential? And at one point of time, you and me were at the same level. So time is not lost even now. What we can do in Mumbai, I am not trying to advise. This is what I told them. Shift these 5,000 people to institutional quarantine. Dharavi will be safe. Now number of cases in Mumbai have become enormous. Okay. What we can do, what I feel now is we can go in for a very strict lockdown of 2 weeks in Mumbai so that everybody stays home and government make arrangements the by Kasargod, that is telemedicine, or by home delivery system to meet essential needs of people, so that in 14 days, whoever is positive becomes normal. And those people who have potential to transmit infection to others also becomes normal. After that, number of positive cases will come down. You start doing contact tracing and keep those people who have greatest potential of transmitting infection to others confined to homes. That is how we can win this. Because if the number of cases increase the way they are increasing in Mumbai, we will have no other option but to go to lockdown again. And we'll have to impose lockdown, keep everybody at home, and those people who have severe medical conditions, they have to be treated, their lives have to be saved. Other people who become positive, now new policy has come, even if you have mild symptoms, doesn't matter, you can stay at home and your immunity will carry you through. If you have breathing problems, come to the hospital. They will also get cured. So after 14 days lockdown, complete strict lockdown, things will be under control. After that, when you open, you implement lock 3 only. If somebody becomes positive, trace all contacts and keep those primary and secondary contacts confined to homes by whatever resources you have got, so that rest of the people, rest of the Mumbai can stay free, it can stay safe, and it can work safely. So this is what can be done. So density obviously creates problems. It complicates the gravity of the problem, but it is possible for us to innovate and take care of the density as well and implement. Finally, what is containment? What is the solution? Stop contact of one person from the other. So we will have to devise strategies and methods to somehow stop contact of people from one to another. That is the key, and it is possible if you decide, because there is no other way. If you don't do that, we know the number of casualties which is going to happen. US, such a, the boss of the earth, the boss of the globe, they have suffered so many casualties. Can we afford that? It cannot. So I know implementing triple lock strategy requires enormous effort, enormous discipline. It is extremely energy sapping exercise, but worth it. We can save the lives. It is possible, I feel.
Appropriate, very point, very well taken, sir, because I think triple lock strategy, as you mentioned, is the key to contain be what the density and be what the population. I think that's a very good strategy. It has already become, but it will always become a good case study for future pandemics also. I'm sure about that, sir. We are running out of time, but I'm very tempted to ask you one last question. That this is a question from my side. Uh, Considering that you have been doing a lot of, you have put in a lot of service with police, as well as you have a lot of academic achievements also, and the portfolio that you've been handling, Government of India and Uttarakhand and Kerala. How do you maintain your work-life balance?
There is no balance. We try to finish as much of us as possible, and all my balance is maintained by my better half and my kids. So they balance me. I really never try to balance.
Behind every successful man is a successful woman.
Yeah, I'm grateful to them that they have tolerated me this long and they are still tolerating me and motivating me. Otherwise, from my side, it is simply impossible.
Agreed fully, sir. With such an illustrious career that you have had, sir, and such a big introduction that I have had, I thank Captain Rajesh for covering up my fumbling in the introduction with technical glitch. Because covering your introduction in first 2 minutes is practically impossible unless and until I go with 100 words a minute or something on that speed, sir. It was really a pleasure talking to you, sir.
Thank you so much, Parvesh, and thank you all of you for listening to me so patiently. I am grateful. Thank you so much.
I would hand it over to Kapil for the note of thanks from here, sir.
Thank you, Parvesh.
Thank you, sir. This is truly amazing. The way you have handled the situation in Kasaragod was really an amazing story. Your triple layer strategy is not only a great success, it is a great example for all of us, great example for all of us to utilizing the technology at its best. Sir, I'm sure you may have faced a lot of challenges while implementing the same and sending almost 3,000 to 4,000 people to home quarantine. And that the story did not end there. The way the entire police department and the other departments helped reach out to the people who were home quarantine and took care of them by giving them the right guidance, medical help, or essential services help at a point when the scare is at its peak is just unimaginable. So we are honored to have you here as a speaker today, and I'm sure that the entire fraternity has got some good learning from your experience. I, on behalf of GACS, would like to thank you for taking our time from your busy schedule today and share your experience with us. Once again, sir, thank you so much to you and the entire team for this wonderful effort, what you have done there. And we are hoping that the similar thing will continue with you with other states as well. Jai Hind, sir.
Thank you, Rahul. Thank you, Kapil. I am grateful, and thank you, everyone. And have a nice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, sir.